My sister told me to take it as a compliment when my coworker put me on a hear me out cake without my consent and posted it online, but I felt violated, knew it was completely inappropriate, and decided to stand up for myself by taking action, involving my manager, and addressing as unprofessional. I work at a small but busy diner as a waitress. It's not a bad job overall, and the work environment is mostly friendly, though I wouldn't say I have close relationships with many of my co-workers. One of the busboys, whom I'll call John, is someone I've always been on neutral, friendly terms with. He started working at the diner a while ago and has always seemed pretty laid back. We aren't exactly friends, but we get along fine. Occasionally, we chat while closing together, usually about school, since he recently started college, and I'm close to finishing my bachelor's degree. It's just casual conversation, nothing particularly deep or personal. Last week, John mentioned that he was in a group chat on Instagram with several other co-workers and asked if I wanted to join. Since I hadn't really bonded with my co-workers outside of work, I figured it wouldn't hurt to be part of the group, so I said sure. We exchanged Instagram handles, and I joined the chat. For the most part, the group chat was what you'd expect, lots of random memes, work-related jokes, and casual banter among co-workers. Nothing out of the ordinary. However, yesterday, while scrolling through Instagram, I stumbled upon a reel that John had posted. The video featured him and a couple of his friends participating in the Hear Me Out cake trend. If you're unfamiliar with it, the concept is typically lighthearted and humorous. People create cakes featuring fictional or animated characters they find attractive, as a way of jokingly saying, "Hear me out, I would totally date this character." It's supposed to be funny and harmless. Except, in this case, it wasn't. Toward the end of the video, I was shocked to see that my face taken from one of my Instagram posts was placed on the cake. Unlike the other images, which were of fictional characters, mine was the only real person featured. Not only that, but John made a comment in the video about how attractive he found me and explicitly stated that he wished he could hit that but doubted he had a chance. The moment I saw it, I felt incredibly uncomfortable and honestly a little violated. I had never given him permission to use my picture in any way, let alone for something so blatantly inappropriate. I was especially unsettled because this wasn't just a private joke among friends, it was a public video, visible to anyone who followed him. I wasn't sure what to do. My initial instinct was that I wanted the video taken down, but I questioned whether I had the right to demand that. It wasn't an explicit threat or anything, but it still felt completely inappropriate, especially in a workplace context. I talked to my sister about it, hoping for some support or guidance. Unfortunately, her response was dismissive. She told me I should just take it as a compliment and be glad that someone thought I was pretty. That did not sit right with me. The issue wasn't about whether I was being complimented, it was about boundaries and respect. At this point, I was torn on what to do. Should I handle it myself and ask John directly to take the video down? Should I escalate the issue and bring it to her manager? The more I thought about it, the more I realized that I didn't feel safe or comfortable working alongside someone who thought this kind of thing was okay. Update: I decided to take action. First, I screen recorded the video to have proof in case he tried to delete it before I could report it. Then, I sent the recording to my manager. We have a good relationship, and I trusted that she would handle the situation appropriately. When I showed her the video, she was visibly taken aback. She said it was extremely unprofessional and might even be a violation of workplace conduct policies. She reassured me that I didn't need to stress about it, she would take care of the matter. A few hours later, she got back to me, letting me know she had adjusted the work schedule so that I wouldn't have to interact with John as much. I wouldn't have him bussing my tables, and our shifts would only overlap minimally. Since then, I've only seen him a handful of times, and when I do, he avoids making eye contact with me entirely. After handling things with my manager, I decided to confront John directly. I sent him a DM on Instagram, stating the video you made in which you put my face in a Hear Me Out cake for social media is gross and unprofessional. We are co-workers. I did not give permission to be posted online and sexualized like that. I have already spoken to manager's name about the situation and my discomfort and would like you to take the video down immediately. You used my image without my consent. John's response was, quite frankly, underwhelming. Instead of offering a genuine apology, he tried to brush it off by saying that he and his friends were drunk when they made the video and that it was just a spur-of-the-moment thing. He added that he thought I was cool and assumed I wouldn't have a problem with it. While he did agree to take the video down, he never actually said the words "I'm sorry." Instead, he just made excuses for his behavior. Not long after, I found out that my manager had made him take some kind of mandatory online course on sexual harassment and workplace misconduct. I doubt it will have any real impact, but at least it's something. If nothing else, it's an inconvenience for him, and hopefully, it'll make him think twice before doing something like this again. Now, the only lingering issue is that John's little group of busboy friends has started giving me attitude. They don't say anything outright, but I've definitely caught them glaring or side-eyeing me, clearly upset that I snitched on their friend. At the same time, I don't really care what they think. If anything, it just means they're less likely to mess with me in the future. At the end of the day, I'm glad I stood up for myself. I don't regret taking action, and I appreciate the support I received from my manager. To anyone who might find themselves in a similar situation, trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Thanks to everyone who took the time to read this and share their thoughts. Your input helped me feel more confident in handling this situation.